Hello there, this is DBT, and this Art of Runes. And alright, let's continue talking about Asphalt 9, and today we're gonna be having a look at the newly released video of Road to Unite, Episode 2, New Garage. Now, I said newly released, but really was yesterday, but only today I got an opportunity to get into it, so it's fine, now I'm making the video. We're also gonna talk a tiny little bit about the DeTomaso P900 Carhunt that is happening right now, the beautiful car that you see on the screen right now, but that's for later. Right now, if you enjoy my content, why don't you hit the like button on this video? Go ahead, do it for me. As well as subscribing to the channel, because remember that I post literally every single day. And while it's not Asphalt 9 every day, anytime that there's something worth talking about, new car hunt, some news or whatever, you bet that I'm gonna be making a video on it like I am doing right now. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel if you wanna keep up with what's going on with this game. But alright, so we're gonna have a look at the Road to Unite video with a couple of caveats. Those being that first, I'm gonna be watching it muted. This is completely muted, and that is because copyright issues. I don't want to get hit by copyright because of a song or whatever, so yeah, muted. But we're gonna have subtitles activated so that you can see what the narrator is doing, or saying, rather. And we're also gonna play it at 1.5 the speed, meaning I'm gonna play it faster, because I just wanna have a quick look at it, but then after that, I'm gonna do a slower scene-by-scene type of look at the thing, so yes. I'm not gonna read the text for you, but one funny thing that I thought when I watched this video for the first time was that introduction where he goes, "Hello there," and I'm like, "Oh, whoa, what just happened? Am I watching my own video?" Now listen, I did not invent the greeting of hello there. I just thought it was kind of funny because I'm so used that my videos begin like that, and then I watch some other video by someone else that also begins with hello there. It just suddenly felt weird, like, oh. What is this? But anyway, that's the only pause I'll do for now. Again, you probably already watched this video, so you know what this is about. I'm just gonna let it play so that we can have a quick overview of what it is that it's gonna be showing. It's basically divided into three sections. The first is showing the general UI of the menus, the main menus in the game where you move. And let's go in career, let's go into time limited events, in this case the daily goals and all of that stuff. So that is the main thing. And the narrator will actually does mention that this is gonna look familiar to everybody, and that is 100% right. Because this entire thing, except for the home screen, the rest of everything else, it's basically what we already know. It's nothing like, oh my god, this is groundbreaking with the new design. Yeah, granted, the colors and all of that change, the visuals in general change, but the main structure of the menus remains basically the same. So it's not like, wow, this is completely new, I have to relearn where everything is. No. Things are super familiar. Whether or not that's a good or a bad thing, that it's based, that depends on your own subjective opinion. So here we go into the next section, which is showing a tiny bit of gameplay on Shanghai with the Lycan Hypersport, and it allows you, it's a tiny window to see some of the changes that we hadn't seen before. Interesting, we'll talk more about that because this is really a very, very short clip, so not much to derive from that. Then we go into actually looking at the garage itself, what it is, how it looks when you have all of those cars. Once you go there, the animation for when you unlock the car, you're upgrading the car, all of this. But once again, none of this will be surprising to anybody in saying like, wow, this looks so much different. I mean, it does look different, but functionally it's exactly the same as it always has been. And I do believe that it's a pretty neutral thing. It did what it needed to do, which is to make it look fresh, make it look new, maybe even more appealing to the new audience coming from the PlayStation. And for the older players, then it's still extremely familiar. And I understand that some people are complaining about the colors and all of that. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, overall, that's basically it. The video is just divided in three parts: the general UI, then a tiny bit of a race, and then some stuff regarding the garage. So, doesn't necessarily show a lot, but it does show quite a bit in terms of what to expect with what the Unite thing is gonna have. So, I now have disabled the subtitles and put it back to regular speed so that we can do a little bit of a slower breakdown. First things first, again, this Countach is missing the wing. Technically, it's more a spoiler than a wing, but yeah, it's missing over here. I guess they just did a bit of a noopsie when they were importing or exporting whatever the model, and yeah, it's missing that part, so that's kind of weird. But hey, it's fine, I guess. They shall fix that at some point if they're gonna keep using this type of promo screen or promo video. But anyway, so once again, the first thing that we're gonna see is the oh come on, there it is, the home screen. Now the home screen is a bit of a peculiar thing because this screen per se doesn't exist in Asphalt 9 as it is. This is a bit of an amalgamation of the career screen with the Legend Pass screen, and that is because From career, it shows the main car that you have selected, the last car that you were using. It's a bit of a showcase of the car, just there looking pretty. And from the Legend Pass screen, it has the information as to how long before you can claim another free pack. Now, these buttons over here are the buttons that you will find up here. So now, this seems to mean that if you want to look at your profile, your garage, or your daily goals, and you're in any other screen, you need to go back to home to check it out. Currently, in the main game, no matter where you are, you can check either your garage, you can check your profile and your inbox, you can check your progress and the blah 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 in any of these screens. In fact, no matter how deep you go into the menus, you can always look at all of this stuff. And honestly, I kind of like this because if I'm having a look at my career and over here, oh, but you know what? I need to check my cars. What cars did I have on Class D? You know, it's very easy access to this. And in the way that it's set up in Unite now, it seems that since these buttons won't exist over here, like, oh, I wanted to see my profile for some reason. Okay, I need to go home, then go to the home thing, to the specific home button, and then you have access to this stuff over here. So that is the part that so far I'm not loving the idea because, I don't know, I just like having things more handy. This adds an additional step to look at my garage, to look at my profile, to look at my daily goals. Unless I'm wrong and this is gonna still be accessible later on somehow, but you can see over here. Well, actually this is the wrong screen, but yeah, over here he shows daily goal challenges and season missions, which it's a very familiar look. Different colors for sure, as the layout is a little bit adjusted, but in general it's something that you're incredibly familiar with, so there's no big changes over here. It's basically like what you've seen all along, so I got nothing to comment other than, yeah, it looks like a fresh thing, but yeah. So over here, he's on career, and in career, again, you get to see the main card, you get to see your career progress, but if you want to see my garage, I don't have the buttons up here. I don't think I have the buttons, I don't. So if I'm here and I want to look at my messages, I need to go to home and then check it out. Or same thing, if I want to see my challenges, my daily challenges from career, I need to go back to home and open it. That is the part that I'm not super sold on, because it adds that extra step. You see, go back to that thing, and only then you can look at the garage. But anyway, he went for a second there into the Legend Pass, or well, in this case, Unite Pass. No season available, so we don't know anything how it's gonna look, but I think it's basically what we already know, given that everything else is still basically the same. Over here we got the daily events reading screen, and then a little bit of what you call this, tutorial. Hey, this is where you see an auto claim and all of this, whatever, it's fine. Then we got the general idea of the daily events, which is exactly what we already know. In fact, let me compare it real quick. So in the game, we got the daily event, welcome screen, let's say, and then over here are the daily events. So if we do a quick comparison, we got daily events, we got well, it says Countach shop, yeah, but it shows, they did clarify, by the way, that a lot of these were just, you know, assets for displays, not necessarily that this is how it's gonna be, so that's fine. But yeah, it shows you the event, it shows you the description, here's the event, and what other events are available. So event name, event description, it shows you all the other things, all the other events available, your tickets, also how long is this event gonna be, how long this event is, here are the tickets, the future rewards, which should appear over here depending, there it is. So all of this is exactly the same thing, right? Again, a little bit reorganized, but I don't think this is gonna, you know, wow anybody other than, hey, it looks cool because it looks with different colors. That's fine. Special, excuse me. Special events is a bit of a funny one because I have a bit of a theory of what happened over here. You will notice that this is completely blurred out. Completely blurred out. And I was wondering for a second, like, why is that? Did they accidentally leak something? Like maybe they have the name over here of a card that has not been shown yet, and it's gonna be added and they didn't want to show it up just yet. Or maybe they had a license issue and they had to remove it, but I think I figured it out. But anyway, this is the special event screen. You go into the special event, and there it is, the special event, and it shows you the cars and whatnot. Again, extremely familiar, not too much to say about this other than, hey, it looks fresh. That's it. But here's what I figured out that the thing is, I think there was a bit of a, again, because all of these are just development assets. It's not nothing that you see right now. It's 100% true. This is not probably gonna be an event featuring these cars. But I think I figured out what happened here is that apparently this is a Pagani Utopia Coupe event, quote unquote. It shows over here that it's for the Pagani Utopia, and it even shows the car over here. But over here it looks red because I think in this graphic, they accidentally put a Ferrari, again, development asset, so I understand. But they put a Ferrari on the picture and they're like, oh, damn, it doesn't match. We don't want Ferrari to get angry. Because over here, to me, this probably says Pagani, this part says Utopia, and this part says Coupe. So they probably had to blur it out to be like, yeah, okay, we're not actually admitting that that's what it is, so it could be a Ferrari, who knows. I thought that was just funny. This has nothing to do with the development of the thing. I'm just saying that I thought it was funny that they had to blur it out because, oh boy, this doesn't match. But either way, it's fine. So, special event, nothing too interesting going on over here. Same thing that we know. And by the way, you will hear me a lot saying that there's nothing super special going on with the screens that we already know. And that is neither a good or a bad thing. That is a perfectly neutral thing, which is at the end of the day, what the developers wanted. For this to be extremely familiar to anybody that knows it, and for anybody that doesn't know it, look a little bit more clean, simpler to look at, maybe less busy with less fancy graphics and crazy variants of colors and whatnot. I don't know, is this gonna work? I think it's fine. I think the new people are gonna get used to this real quick. The older people who are gonna be like, oh, I like more the old layout, eventually will get used to this. So I see this as basically meaningless, and I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm saying that all of this is fine. I don't mind the changes because at the end of the day, it still looks very similar. So there's no, other than what I said about the buttons that they remove, which does bother me a little bit. Other than that, the rest seems exactly the same, so that's fine. Except that over here in multiplayer, we got the private room screen. We're not gonna have a look at that because they haven't shown it. But here is the multiplayer series. Now, apparently, they're gonna be sorted in this way as opposed to sorted vertically. They're gonna be sorted horizontally, but hey, whatever, it's fine. So let's keep watching because now we get over here the career screen. Same thing, nothing super interesting. Shows the same information. Here we go into the actual career, and this is the part where I'm a little bit conflicted. This is fine. This is easily navigable. I don't know, whatever's the word. You can navigate it relatively easy. But what I wanted to see is if they, once you enter one of these things, if they rearrange how it looks. Okay, this is the actual game. So if we go into any of this, all of this stuff is actually difficult to navigate in a controller because if you are here, you press up. Is it gonna take you here or is it gonna take you here? So you need to go kind of because if you go right, it's not gonna take you anywhere. Maybe it'll take you to this button. So you will need to press diagonal in order to get there, and then another diagonal to get there, then another diagonal to get there, but the line says up, so if I press up, I should land over here, but no, up will take me over here. You see what I'm saying? This is the part that I really wish that, I really hope Game Love, if you ever watches, please do adjust this in some sort of a grid that makes sense, or make it so that the line tells you which button to press. Like over here, if you press right, because the line goes right, then it's gonna do a quick animation, whip, and it takes you up here. Press up and it's gonna whoop, and it takes you right here. You see what I'm saying? It's just that the way, and don't do diagonals. Diagonals are a little bit more difficult to do. So make it right again, or make it up. You see what I'm saying? This is the part, one of the parts that I really feel the game needs to adjust for controller navigation ability. Because all of this is super easy to do with, well, in my case, with a mouse. But if you're doing with tap, it's also super easy to just do it. But if you're trying to do it with a controller, this can be such a nightmare. So I think this definitely needs a rework. But anyway, they don't go and show any of that over here. They just show you a little bit of the tiles for the career stuff, but nothing much. So, oh, wait a second. That showed a little bit more in the multiplayer section, didn't it? Yeah, I guess this is from a different clip. Look at that. So we got... okay, so yeah, here we go. We got multiplayer, where it would be probably MP1. We got Drab Syndicate. Is this where Drab Syndicate is going to be? So it's no longer going to be a special event? I don't know. Or maybe this is just the multiplayer series related to the Drab Syndicate. Whatever. Then we got split screen and private room. Okay, that's fine. Again, like I said, it's sorted horizontally. In fact, I think that is the biggest change that I've seen on the UI so far, that those things are sorted horizontally as opposed to vertically, which should probably tell you that indeed there hasn't been a lot of changes in terms of how things are sorted, but it's fine. So yeah, over here, again, a quick look at this. I already talked about that. Doesn't show a whole lot, so I don't have much to say other than, again, they added new fancy graphics and all of that. I can comment on that. It looks fine. Nothing too special. But here we go to the important part, which is the actual racing. Shanghai with the new improved engine. Now, right away, I'm noticing that this light is really far away from this. Now, this is a bit of... Yeah, what's happening here? Probably just a bug. Sometimes when you pause the game at certain moments, your nitro looks to be very far away from your actual exhaust. but that is an issue of interpolation. Don't worry too much about that. It's all right. That other one in this video just looked like a bit of a bug. So yeah, right away you can see how it's lighting up the road, your headlights. That's kind of dope. And here comes the interesting part, and that is the shockwave. It shows you this special visual effect when you are ready for the shockwave, I suppose. And then here's the shockwave. Now, the shockwave is divided into the shockwave, well, visual shock wave, the actual, you know what a shockwave is, right? So this, okay, I can do it like this. Yes, I can. This little circle thingy, this is a shockwave, and it looks kind of nice because you can see how it distorts the light around it. You see how this light goes like this? They added some additional shaders. You see how this bends the light? So that's a nice effect, how it distorts the view a little bit. Is that gonna be super annoying when you're looking at it, when you're playing the game, because it's gonna distort your view for half a second? Honestly, I don't think it's gonna be too much of a big deal, but it's there. It looks cool, I'll tell you that. It definitely looks cool. What I don't like, it's this static effect in the car as you're running with the shockwave. It looks, in my opinion, just kind of meh. I don't think it looks fantastic. I don't think it looks bad either, but I kind of like more the shockwave effect that we have currently in the game, where it shows lines moving around your car, following the shape of the car. This, to me, just looks like purple static. I don't love it. I honestly don't love it. I'll say that right away. Another interesting thing that you can see over here, which I believe it's still work in progress, is the fact that you cannot see when your Perfect Nitro is ready. Check it out. He starts using yellow nitro. It's consuming it, but it didn't show the little part to trigger Perfect Nitro. Now, you can do it by feel, obviously, but I think they're gonna fix this eventually to add the little part that, hey, you need to press it in this section so that you trigger Perfect Nitro. But again, I don't think this is gonna stay that way. It's gonna get fixed at some other point. And other than that, honestly, this map doesn't look all that different than it's, in my opinion, my very subjective opinion, it doesn't look that much more different than its regular version. Because over here the lighting, there's no sun, so there's no main source of light that is gonna be making your shadow move around as you go around in different sections of the track. All of this has a lot smaller but a ton more light. So yeah, so far the rain effect doesn't, well, not rain, I suppose that was just straight up water because there were some fountains there, but it doesn't look super interesting. The main differences that I'm noticing in there is that shockwave shader where it distorts the view for a little bit, the new shockwave effect. But other than that, I'm gonna say that this doesn't, I mean, it looks cool. It does look cool, but it doesn't look insane. But at the same time, it sounds like I'm complaining about it, I think it's also good that they don't go super overboard everywhere, because then I've already talked about how I'm a little bit concerned of the performance of the game if the new light effects are super heavy. They could affect performance and all of that, so we'll see. So far, this didn't show us too much. And finally, we get into the garage. Now, here's where I really hope that Gameloft could. I doubt they're gonna do it, but I really hope that Gameloft, I think it's Barcelona, the ones that are developing this, could follow what whoever it is that did Asphalt Nitro 2 did. In Asphalt Nitro 2, if you change the color of your car in the garage, that color change reflects over here. Now, granted, in Asphalt Nitro 2, there's no custom color. There's only the predefined colors. So I guess that's why it's done in that way over there. And over here, since you can apply a fancy color, I think it would be way harder to re-render the car so that it shows that. But I do believe that it could help a lot because, I don't know, it just seems weird that this never changes. Like, I understand the thumbnail of the blueprint to stay the same. That makes sense. But the car, I think it could do with showing the new color that you apply. What do you guys think? Why don't you let me know in the comments if it matters to you at all that this doesn't show the color that you actually have for the car. So that is one thing that I do hope that they could work on. In my opinion, that could definitely be a nice little improvement. Then we go into the screen for when he's gonna unlock the car. This is exactly the same animation that we've seen, just with the new garage looks. It makes it look fresher, right? But it's basically the same thing. Now, this is what I was saying, that this is very bloomy. All of this looks super bloomy. I don't love that because it makes it look like my screen is dirty. Bloom is supposed to give this sense of like, wow, super fancy light effects. But so much bloom, yeah, it makes me feel like my screen is dirty and I need to clean it so that it looks, you know, sharper. But anyway, it's fine. So I did want to mention that, well, over here we get to a little bit of a view with the different colors and whatnot. But I did want to mention that I think it was very smart what they did with the background over here. If they're gonna be changing this, because the ground, well, the ground is just a neutral color. It's kind of white, kind of gray, it's fine, whatever. But with this background being quote-unquote screens, that means that they could always display different things over here. So that means that maybe, I don't know if there's some event themed around, who knows, the what are they called, those, the pink trees in Japan? They could add a lot of pink trees there on the screen, and then you would have that background. Maybe you could even customize it. You could select from different predefined backgrounds. I don't know. The fact that these are screens means that this can be changed at will really easily, and every single time that they change it, it's gonna be like, oh, the garage looks a little bit fresh again. That's kind of dope. So I do think it was a good idea to add the screens, because definitely gives you. Oh, by the way, Mr. Narrator, I take offense of you saying that who does matte colors. I do, okay? I do. How dare you criticize? I'm kidding. But yeah, I do use matte, and I thought that was funny that he was like, but he uses it. Well, I do, all right? Leave me alone. But anyway, so yeah, I do like the screens on the background. One thing that I will say is I wish there was another material, because this game can render the material, but we don't have an option for it, and that is kind of like, what is that called? Satin. One quick example is the Lamborghini Sian. So this material that you see right now, this is the official color for the car, right? But this material we don't have access to. It looks kind of matte, but it actually isn't matte, because if we go and... Do I even have matte available? No, I don't have it. I have it on the Switch. Well, if you set it up to matte, you still don't get the same color. Let me see if I have another car that has that. Aha, I found one. So, for example, this car, it has a very peculiar color to it. Because this is very glossy, right? How can you tell this is glossy? Well, obviously because of the reflections. But look at how defined the reflections are here and here, right? Now, look at this one. Well, it looks much more oh, how do you say that word? Now, I tried to look for the word, but I couldn't find it. But anyway, you can see how it looks maybe a little bit more blurry. So you might be thinking, well, yeah, obviously this is not glossy. So this is matte color, right? It's not, however, because look at this. If I go into custom colors and I set it up as single and matte, now this, you might be thinking, yeah, there it is. That's what you wanted, but it's not. This is much different. It's different. How can you tell? If I go back over here, look at this. Again, this is matte, and look at this. You see how it's very different? This is a material that we don't have the ability to use. And it exists in the game. You can see it right here, but we don't have it. That is one thing that I wish Asphalt Unite would do. Finally give us the opportunity to have the gloss. No, gloss it's standard. We got metallic, super shiny, reflective. We got matte. And we need satin. That is the one that we're missing. So I do wish, since they're already doing a bunch of changes in the engine itself, the engine of the game, I think they could probably add the shader to add that new material. I mean, the material's already there. All they gotta do is allow us to use it. Okay, whatever. That's a bit of a side point. I really wish that they did that. But anyway, so overall, what they've shown, oh, here the upgrade screen is exactly the screens that we know. So nothing to say about that. Other than, yep, it is what we know it is. So overall, I think it's an interesting thing that they're showing, because all of the menus look extremely familiar to anybody that has played regular Asphalt 9. Like I said, I think the main objective was not to wow any of the old players, but instead to make it much more visually less noisy. I guess that's the way that I could describe it. Make it less noisy, so that, you know, the newer players from the PlayStation are like, oh yeah, this looks modern. Let's go. But again, my main concern remains that we lost the buttons at the top left over here to access the garage, to access anything really quickly. So that is indeed something that I don't love. I guess you can press the home button over here. Well, the YouTube video kind of blocks it. Hold on. If I rewind and let YouTube make those buttons disappear. There we go. The home button at the top right. Well, you know what? I guess you can access it from there, huh? That's settings, there's home, there's messages, there's profile, but how do you see the garage? I don't know. That's why I said that. At the end of the day, all of this is just showing what it kind of looks like, but hey, we will need to actually get it in our hands in order to be like, oh yeah, no, I get it now. But all right, I said that I was going to talk about something else real quick. and that is the Carhunt for the DeTomaso P900. Now, I already made a video talking about the Dunker Board, where I tested it in multiplayer and all of that, so if you want to check it out, link should be appearing in the top right now. But I didn't mention this Carhunt because I wasn't sure if it was gonna start or not. Now, if you haven't looked at it, why haven't you? It's a free car, go for it. The cars that you need in order to get 10 guaranteed blueprints are the Bentley Mulliner Bacalar, which is a relatively rare car, considerably rare car, really, and the Resvani Beast X, which is much more common. And that's how you get some 10 additional blueprints. Now, let's have a look at how my P900 is doing. Currently, I have it at 2 stars. It took quite a bit to unlock it because it needs 35 blueprints to unlock, and the drop rates weren't amazing, but I made do, and I was able to unlock it technically today. How do I have it already at 2 star? Well, because I've been doing more races, and to be honest, I did use 10 wildcards from Class C. 1 star once I unlocked it, I used 10 wildcards, so I have those wildcards that I'm never using because I don't really have any other classic car at 1 star that I could use them on. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm gonna pour them on this, and that's how I got really quickly to the 2nd star, because to get to the 2nd star you need something like 15, 16 blueprints or something, so it was really easy. And then I used 2 more wildcards that I had for 2 stars Class C. So that's how I have it right now. How does this car drive and all of that? I guess we're gonna find that at some other point. I've been actually upgrading the car as I've been starting it up because I do want to have it out at max, so that as soon as I have it ready, I'm gonna make a video on this thing, driving it for 1 episode of how far can it take me, but that'll be for later on. Just wanted to give you the quick update as to how it is going. This Carhunt, obviously I'm going free to play in this Carhunt. I don't have the event pass, I don't have the legend pass, I don't have anything, so this is a 100% free-to-play grind that I'm doing right here, and I have not even spent tokens to do ticket refills. I've been only watching ads in order to refill a few times a day, so that you have enough to do that. I think 2 refills, I think it's all you can do with ads, something like that, but it's fine. So yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick idea as to how my DeTomaso P900 is going. If you're wondering how difficult is it to get the blueprints for this thing, how easy is it to get all of the the conditions? You can do it with the DSC10s if you have it maxed out, the DSC10s. You can even do it with touch drive, and it'll be really, really easy. Right now I'm in my PC for the sake of recording this video, but when I'm doing this Carhunt, I'm doing it on my phone. Well, just basically do it, but let it do it by itself mostly. At the start of the race, I just let it go. Then my inputs are just gonna be to go into the ramp. Once I'm in the ramp, do some nitro, cancel, go back to single nitro, and then just let it run by itself. And this is gonna do a lot of the Carhunt all by itself. I don't need to press anything else, and this is gonna take me pretty far. In fact, it might just be enough to do the whole thing. Let's check it out. I never actually tried, because at the end I always end up doing a little bit nitro here and there. So I run out of nitro somewhere over there. That's fine. And actually, depending on when you use your double tap nitro in the ramp, you could still be running with that nitro all the way up to this point. So maybe we should try that. 41. The objective of time, I think, is 58 seconds in order to get all of the rewards if you're doing with a Class D. Is this gonna be enough? No, I think it's gonna be a little bit short. And just see that I'm not pressing anything, all right? It was only the input at the start. No, look at that, I still managed it. 56 seconds. And I did not have to press anything other than at the start. So this is one of those Carhunts that you can just let the system do it by itself. 104, 101, and 58 seconds. Yeah, there we go. And I got my 3-pack, so that's kind of dope. So yeah, you can definitely leave it to almost do it by itself. So yeah, if you're not going for this Carhunt, you still have a lot of time. And since it's not a key hunt, however stars that you get it at, that's how you're gonna keep the car. You don't need to get it at max to unlock the car. So this is kind of cool. I would recommend you to go for it, because why not? It's a classic car that seems to be considerably high ranked, so I think it's good. But alright, that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Hit like button, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.